let 'em come, let 'em come. We'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we go Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come down to the den. It's Saturday in Cold Lane, we've all come down to cheer. We've had our jelly deals and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine, all the time our families will bring. And as the Lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come down to the den. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. We'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come down to the den. It's Saturday in Cold Lane, we've all come down to cheer.
Version, isn't it?
Our jelly deals and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine, all the time our families will bring. And as the Lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come down to the den. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. We'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're all Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come to the den. Let 'em all come down to the den.
Good evening. Good evening.
That was a 12-week version.
What was that? Do you think that's an extended version, that, Pete?
A 12-week version, surely.
A what?
That was a 12-week version.
That's what she said. How we doing, chaps? We're back for the Den debate. It's I was going to say it's been a while, but it actually hasn't. The last time we did it was when Joe Edwards was out and Neil Harris was in, all in one day. So that's not too bad for us because usually we go a lot longer. But we are back looking at the last four matches, the first four matches under Neil Harris's reign. Let's just fire straight in. Ken, what has changed since Harris has come back? What's been the main part of the upturn in fortune?
I think maybe under the last two managers, our players have been quite restricted. Set particular tasks, and the team has usually been quite defensive. Whereas Harris has a very much go out and get them, work hard, fight hard, and we'll see if we can get something out of the game. Because the one thing really that we was lacking was fight, wasn't it? An effort. And now we've got. I just feel that we've gone back to. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that we're like. I now think we're going to go and win the championship next season. But you've gone back to say like when we were in League One and we were proper going for it in every game. Not necessarily a lot of ability, but a lot of fight, grit, determination, and that won us games. And I think the style of plays of teams these days, they don't like to match up against teams like that, and that's why we're getting some success for this season at least.
Teddy, good evening, mate. You said we got a bit of bollocks about us again, and all Neil Harris hasn't really maybe got the tactical mind that others have. He's just like Kenny said, Pete. He's just simplified it, isn't he? And he's got us back to doing what he knows that we are going to do at this club, and that's just fighting.
Well, yeah, I think what he's done, obviously, he's playing to every individual player's strengths. Yeah, he's picked out all the strengths in them characters and like, let's play for your strengths. Yeah, it's not. I think like they do things that we can't do. What we have been doing, like playing the ball out from the back. And yes, at moments in Joe Edwards' tenure, it was fantastic. I think I remember the Middlesbrough game, but it only lasts 30 minutes. But whether the players were getting tired or getting knackered, But now he's gone, and you've got Neil there. He is, like I say, installing this like Millwall-esque, if you know what I'm saying. You know, we want to all about all that stuff, but he's installed a belief in the players, and like I say, he's getting the extra 50 or 60% out of them players that wasn't there before. Because
it wasn't what you say. We was playing well at points like for 20, 30 minutes, and then we was going to pieces. But Joe, to get what he's got out of these players, maybe not technically wise or brilliant football, but to get what he's got out of these players, the same group of players that lost 6 out of their last 7 previous under Edwards, is unreal, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what I was going to say? As soon as you asked Kenny the question, I was going to sum it up in 4 words I had in my head. And Kenny took 3 of them out of my mouth straight away. I was going to say I could sum the whole thing up. Fight, grit, determination, and the 4th one, passion. Let's have it right. The football's not been great, but the players have installed the belief back into the fans as well. So another word I'd say is unity. The fans are back on side. And when we've got that, create a bit of atmosphere, the players are feeding off it. And we're back as one again. Whereas I just don't think we had that fight. We didn't have that energy under Redwoods. Whereas now I think we're giving it that extra 10% or whatever. Like you see at the end of the Birmingham, just the little things like that Leonard thing at the end, the way he won that. You wouldn't get that under Redwoods. So I think Harris is sort of going to the players. You've got to dig in. You've got to fight. He knows what the club's about. He knows what the fans want to see to an extent, that fight. And that's where the major turning point, that's just the big difference for me. There's nothing really technical. Like technical-wise, we've probably gone worse, gone backwards.
Yeah, but I mean, so 10 points out of 12. Yet to be defeated. All right, Leeds will be a fucking difficult one on Sunday. But just the clips that the club broke up and put on social media, that Ryan Leonard little passage of play, and then George Saville. Well, I kept saying on the Rebels, use your fucking mentality, use your football brain. And he just fucking stuck it out the ground. And then that was it. That was the whistle gone with it. That's the sort of stuff at Millwall that can get you a lot further than doing a fucking Cruyff turn and sticking one in the corner.
And I think going back to that, Dan, if you looked at, I think like you just said there, Edwards, when he made that run, and you see the clip of Harris as well, when he made that run, got that tackle in, right at the last minute, then I'll rewind back to Billy Mitchell in one of the games when I think it was
Southampton away.
Oh, Southampton, when he won the ball and he punched the air, right? So to say, come on. And when I put that, I mentioned that in my report, people going, oh, punching the air don't win points. Well, let me tell you, it does, because it gives that players the extra want to fight for the club, And to me, like the Leonard, what he done, and there's other bits and pieces in that game where players made split tackles and chase back, and it's all to see. It's all to see. Would it come off like the Southampton were losing? The players would have got standing ovation anyway. But yes, it's all that togetherness with the players, and like I say, no more than like say Ryan Leonard punching the grass the other day, because we all knew what he'd done. Whole crowd knew what he's done. Manager knew what he's done. That passion, commitment, and that's what we got at the moment. Which we didn't have before. I
want to talk about Neil Harris in a minute, but I can't let you two talk about Ryan Leonard and not let Kenny have his say. Ken, along with Matt Smith, probably your 2 favourite Millwall players in recent times, Ken, are they? But honestly, Millwall tube, evening to him, if you haven't already subscribed to his channel, but he commented on that thing and he said, who remembers how, and it's a brave thing to say, who remembers how bad Leonard was when he came to the club at 26 years old? 5 years later, he's like a fucking... It's just getting better and better. Only Ken, come on, tell us we was all wrong.
Yeah, no. Well, I'll put it in. I'll put it in the off.
I never slag Leonard off.
We, I think I said probably about 3 years ago, Ryan Leonard is either our best player or one of our best players. But don't get me wrong. When I said that, I meant as a centre midfielder. To be honest, but just, he has matured as a player tenfold. And I know it sounds awful. If you had 11 Ryan Leonards on the team, you probably wouldn't do too bad in the Championship anyway, other than in goal probably. But he's become a bit of a utility player. I presume he's playing more defensive now. One, because he's good at it, and two, because that means his legs are saved a bit more from playing in midfield and risk of getting injured and stuff. But we wouldn't have been able to do without him this season, I don't think. And for me, he's been player of the season so far.
Definitely up there. Definitely up there. Just going back to what Pete said a minute ago, you know, when all punch in the air, and I was uploading some photos for tonight's stream, and just off the back of what Pete just said, some of these are just typifies what Neil Harris is all about. Look, now what is it with Harris? Is it because he's got? Oh, that's something else. Is it because he's got that much of a presence? Is it because he knows what it takes to succeed at the club? You know, I've heard from the training ground that he does seem to have that presence on the touchline. And we say that we play better football under Edwards, but a big fear some people had, you know, Edwards is young and is he trying to be their friend? To me, it looks like Neil Harris, you know, is their friend, but also they've got that respect to want to do. I mean, you don't see this with managers and players often, do you? Stuff like this.
No. Do you know, I think a lot of it comes down to personality as well, the personality of the manager. Like, look at Joe Edwards. He didn't look... You couldn't imagine him proper grilling him in the dressing room. He doesn't come across as a strong, loud character, whereas Harris has just come in and just instilled some faith back into the players. And he looks like he's just given them a bit more confidence, said, look, believe in yourselves, you can do it. Once you get that, you get the fans behind you, it all becomes one, there we go. Because under Edwards, there was none of that.
He's saying this, isn't he? He's saying this from experience. He succeeded at this football club as a player twice, a manager once, and now going into his second tenure as manager, permanent manager, because he did it as an interim, did he, before when we went down, before he got a job full time. But I think the players must look at him and he says, right, I know what it takes to succeed at this football club. And they can't argue with it. I think, you know, you do exactly what I tell you to do, I will get us out of this shit. And we had the big debate, was it the players? Was it, you know, the managers before? And he's getting more out of the players by almost getting less out of them. Like Pete said, technically, and Kenny said technically, he's getting more out of them physically, mentally.
Yeah.
And sort of togetherness-wise than the other managers are, if not as pretty with the football.
I think as well, you have to look at the, and I know we always do it, and at some point I'm hoping to God we stop it, but if you look at the last two managers, they're a lot more new age type of manager where they're more technical, they're more... technically don't really give a shit about what the fans think or anything like that. It's all new age. Whereas because Harris is old school, it's probably quite difficult for new age footballers to actually take someone like Harris, if that makes sense. You're going to get told, you're going to get put in your place. If you do something wrong, you're going to be outed in front of the team. We're a complete family here, and we work as a family. There's no individuals in this team. Right, and I think that players have to go along with that because they know deep down, right, all of a sudden it's not about a wage packet anymore. It's about whether or not in here you've got it, and players want to prove that they've got it, and Harris makes that gets it out of them.
Going back to his first game in charge, see, I heard that. I put on the group the night before. I've heard Harris might come back, but I said, but it's probably bollocks. And then everyone was like, yeah, that won't happen. And it actually did happen the next day. And Harris allegedly said in what this guy told me is that he didn't want Southampton away to be his first game. However, when Harris got the job, he said, that's exactly the game I want for my first game. We was all there, boys. Let's talk a little bit about Southampton. It was classic Neil Harris, wasn't it? Smash and grab.
Oh, what a day. One of the best away days I've had in years. We weren't there expecting nothing, did we? And
no,
expected a battering, to be honest. And to come away with that was total shock, to be honest. But again, it was like we didn't do much in the game, but it was just that nitty gritty performance, just to get you over the line, battling right to the end, and just had a blinding day. I
saw you outside, Pete, didn't I? You had a couple of beers by that point.
Mate,
Oh, we have plenty.
No, to be fair, I didn't. I only about 3 beers. I think three or four, maybe.
Oh, it was three beers and 4 rounds, wasn't it?
He forgets all these cans of cocktails he brought on the train with him.
Oh, I
He's
forgot
forgetting
about
about
that,
them. he rocked up on the train with an M&S bag going, here you go, espresso martini, pina colada cans. He goes, yeah, I only had 3 beers.
No, the Bacardi Mojito, mate. That was the killer. Oh, my God. But anyway,
outside the ground, you went to me, I've had about 4 rounds today. I went, oh, we're Southampton fans. You went, no, people come up to me and saying, I don't know what I'm talking about Casper De Nor.
Yeah. Well, we'll touch on him later when you're ready about that, because I've got a point to make about that anyway.
Well, go on, let's get on to him now. There he is.
Oh, okay. Well, I was speaking to Joe earlier, and I was actually speaking about the weekend about Casper. Listen, he is a good player. I make no bones about it, right? But to me, he ain't fit in a team, and this is going to cause everyone going, what are you talking about again? What are you talking about? Well, so my point is, and we went back again, go back to that December when we had that run of 4 games, no De Nor, no De Nor, no De Nor, right? And then he's dropped again for whatever reason. The 4 games, no De Nor, no De Nor, no De Nor, no De Nor. And out them 8 games, I think we've won 6 and drawn 2. No De Nor, right? So
there's a song that goes like that.
What?
There's a song that goes like that.
Listen, I'm sorry.
In this case, it's not De Nor. In that case, it's not De Nor.
I'm sorry to all you De Nor fans out there. That's my opinion. And there's the proof in the pudding, what I've just said. No De Nor. We got wins under our belt. I'm sorry, but for me, he's not a player. For me.
It's not the fact we're saying he's a bad player. He's obviously a good player, and yes, we do like him.
He doesn't fit that mould of. He's too defensive for me. He done one good thing the last game I see him play. We run forward with the ball. Other than that, I always said, and I called it out last time, that Billy Mitchell. I said it. You go back and watch what we said last time. Billy Mitchell needs to be put back in the team over De Nor. I said that. And I've been proved right so far, touch wood.
Well, look, I know everyone thinks I'm fucking Billy Mitchell's biggest fan, and I do think he's a good player. I don't really think he's any better or worse than De Nor. However, in that season, when Harris brought him into the side, he made his debut at Wigan the last game of a season where we lost 1-0. Him and George Alexander both got their debuts. And then the season we fell short in the playoffs, not last season, I think the season before, when we drew 2-2 at Birmingham, right? He took Billy Mitchell out that day. And previous to that, Saville and Mitchell had played something like 24 games straight as our midfield partnership. And it just fucking worked with them two. And I forgot to say this yesterday in my video that I did, that again, I can't always see it, if I'm honest, myself. But for whatever reason, if Saville and Mitchell play as a midfield duo, we seem to get results.
Yeah. Can't argue with that.
It's there. You can't argue with it.
Yeah, but go back to Billy Mitchell. Harris is playing him because he knows he's going to get 100% out of him because he's Millwall. He knows he's Millwall. That's what I said before. He knows he's Millwall, and I don't think he'll get as much out of De Nor, right, as he would Billy Mitchell, because Billy Mitchell will run around like. I mean, we've got to agree, he ain't the most skillful player in the world, but he gives his all. Of course, he's got his critics. Everyone's got his critics, but Neil Harris wants that Mill type player in this sort of battle at the moment. Yeah, maybe if we're like 20 points clear, he probably would play De Nor because he thinks he might be the better player. But at this moment in time, we need Billy Mitchell type players, not De Nor type players.
Players that are going to fight.
Players that are going to fight for the shirt. And like I say, when you said, I don't get about the punch in the air, that's what we want to see. And that passion commitment for the club. And as you can see, over the last 3 or 4 games, especially the Southampton game, was absolutely immense. We was all going down there, expecting to hide into nothing. We're going, if we take 3-0 and it's a good performance, we'll clap them off the pitch. We was all going down with negative energy, but we come back with positive energy. Like Joe said, weren't the greatest performance, but it's back to the wall stuff and the passion and commitment that they showed in that game. That's all we cry for. That's all we want. and we come away.
That's the point. That's the point as well. The defence has just been gone back solid under Harris, isn't they?
We'll go through we'll go through all the team. I do want to cover the defence. Steve Lee says the 4-4-2 helps. Against Southampton, Saville was going side across the middle of Honeyman and Mitchell either side. They couldn't play through us, had to go wide. That's another name I want to cover here, Ken. George Honeyman. Pete just said there about Mill type players. He's doing very well, George Honeyman, but fuck me, he in one passage of play, he can give the ball away and then win it back 3 times over. Like, he's not I don't think he's the best player in the world. He gives the ball away a lot, but he's prepared to run his bollocks off, run himself into the ground and try and win it back every time. I think he fits into that sort of category.
I think, can I just have a quick say on De Nor?
Of course you can.
So, I agree with Pete, actually, completely, but for me, De Nor is by far our best midfielder in our team, overall midfielder. If you asked a lower league Premiership side, like Nottingham Forest, for instance, you've got a choice of Billy Mitchell or Casper De Nor, that they would 1,000,000% take Casper De Nor over Billy Mitchell. However, Casper De Nor does not fit into a Neil Harris Millwall team at all. No. Unless he was to change his formation and put him in front of the defence or something like that. I don't see that happening. I don't think we'll see much of De Nor, to be honest, unless we're 3-0 down at Elland Road maybe on Sunday, and he can get some minutes, or 3-0 up, whatever. But yeah, so my view on De Nor is by far a much better midfielder, but would not get in an Harris Millwall team because he wants your fighters like Billy Mitchell. Oh, there you go.
There's lots of good comments. Louis says De Nor is 10 times better than Mitchell. You'd be stupid to say he isn't. He just doesn't really fit into the Harris.
Well, didn't I just say that, Louis? Didn't I just say that?
Yeah, he's a better player.
I actually said that, so you just answered my question.
He's like, I agree with what everyone's saying to an extent, but we're saying De Nor's a better player than Mitchell, but we're saying that we win more points than Mitchell in the team. So is he individually a better player? It's not tennis, though, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a team game.
Technically, he's a much better player, but it's not what we need at the moment. I said if we was 20 points clear, I could see him getting into the team, but we need these different sort of players. Again, Gary's answered his own question there. We all know that, but he ain't at the moment. He ain't better than Mitchell at the moment for this team. Simple as.
Steve Lee says Mitchell's running covers Saville's lack of legs.
True.
Luke Smith says De Nor must be scratching his head. He's our best midfielder by far, but I see the point why Harris ain't playing him. Maybe if we clear with 4 to go, or maybe if we're down in that time.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't see the benefit of bringing. What would be the benefit of bringing De Nor in for Mitchell right now?
No, it wouldn't.
Do you know? I
don't think. What would there be? That's what I don't.
I don't think De Nor can really be scratching his head, to be honest, because you think we're getting results in that current setup, that midfield. So you think if you're getting results, surely you must be thinking, well, something's working at the minute. I'm not going to get in all of a sudden.
Put it this way, Casper De Nor could play in a Southampton team. Billy Mitchell couldn't.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. But I get what you're all saying. But look, I'm just throwing it out there. Look, RJ says De Nor is a great player, but he doesn't have what it takes to keep us up. So you're saying that De Nor will be better
summed up.
Is he a bit of a luxury player? Would he be better in a better side?
Yeah, 100%. De Nor is a foot in a Joe Edwards team.
Yeah,
Joe Edwards team, Casper De Nor would shine.
Yeah, agree. RJ, agree with RJ. Yeah.
Getting on to the exactly. Listen, I'll take both these comments on board and agree with both of them. Honeyman has been unbelievable. Okay, Honeyman is proper wall.
Again, it's that style of player.
But
Honeyman's been that style of player.
At the same time, he's not in. But how can? At the same time, I don't think technically he's not very good.
Yeah,
he's a glorified Ben Thompson. He gives the ball away a lot. So how can Honeyman and Mitchell, who are worse players than Casper De Nor? I'm asking the question. I'm not.
Right. Because of the situation we're in.
How can they? Yeah, but surely the better the player, the better your team will be.
We'll put it this way: at the moment, most of the way that we play goes over the midfield anyway. It goes from defence to attack.
True.
If
Better be under Harris, though. I think.
Yeah, if you wanted serious build-up play, then what you'd have players like Casper De Nor in the team, and to me, I don't think Honeyman is any different to Billy Mitchell. I think if you put Honeyman where Billy Mitchell is, you'd get the same results. They're exactly the same type of player.
I'd agree. This very similar, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say technically they're exactly the same. Passing ability exactly the same. The fight, grit, determination. So I can see where people are saying, he's a proper Millwall player. I understand it. However, if I had a team that could play football, without a doubt, you'd probably swap Honeyman for SA, and you'd probably swap Mitchell for Casper De Nor.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
They get more time on the ball.
Yeah.
More time to attack. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I'm with you.
There you go. That comment from Diggs there sums it up. Exactly it.
That's what I was going to say. Them players are there in the team because they fight. The other two ain't going to fight. SA ain't going to fight.
Really well.
Norway's not going to fight. So, great comment, Diggs. Agree with you 100%.
By the way, it's no dig at Honeyman or Billy Mitchell. I think that they've been superb since Harris has come in, and they're showing their ability. Billy Mitchell especially has shown a lot more of what he's about in the last 3 or 4 games than what he's been able to do under Edwards and under Rowett. But if we're just talking ball players, I think there's a massive difference between De Nor and Mitchell.
Yeah.
If you obviously we've all played football. When you're playing teams, you've got a really good player, and you can't go against the physical side. And maybe these good players are really good players technically. They go fucking missing. They get a kick. They get a whack. They don't want to know. Do you know what I mean? That can happen. So if you had, I don't know, for maybe a shit example, we had a 5-a-side game. And in the 5-a-side team, you had Honeyman, Mitchell, and a couple of others against De Nor, SA. Do you think that the more technical players are going to beat the scrappier players?
I think so. Well, I mean, you say that, but we went and beat Southampton, and Southampton, I think, played football all over the pitch. But there was a desire from our boys, And let's be honest, we didn't go out and smash Southampton. We got a penalty that we wouldn't normally get.
Yeah.
And we sat with our backs towards the wall with our binoculars for the second half, watching what was going on in their half. But we held that out because of fight desire. We didn't hold out because we were playing really good football.
And Brookings right there, what he says. He says the fighters are always going to start over the luxury players every week.
Yeah.
Under Harris. John Parr, Mitchell, Saville and Honeyman thrive off huff and puff. Problem is they can't last over a 10-game period. Well, we've only got 9 to go, luckily. But then what happens next season when, say we get safe, and then you bring all the fucking good players back in again, and they can't get firing, or have we not got enough good players to play?
We've got to wait for that, Dan. We've got to wait on that one. Let's get over this. I think this is the main crux at the moment. Let's get safe, and then we talk about next season, because I think, hopefully we do stay up. But I just think we've just got to concentrate on this at the moment. And then if we stay up, like you say, we're on our yachts in the summer, and we can go, right, let's concentrate on next season.
Thanks for watching the full-time reaction, mate.
Yeah, that's right, mate. This is the moment.
Matt Mayer says 10 points from 12. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Do the math on that one as well with the surname, because that's my new Scouse mate, Matt, that is. So,
right. Well, we like I say, it ain't pretty. We know it ain't pretty, and we know the football ain't great. But at this moment in time, we don't give a monkey's about that. We just that's all we want: performance and points. Get us across that line. I don't know, in your opinion, how many wins rate? I think it's going to be a record number of points to start this year. I reckon maybe, or whether the other games will nullify themselves, like Huddersfield, QPR.
So many teams in it at the minute.
Yeah. We'll look at the league table in a bit. We'll look at our fixtures that we've got left. But the Southampton game before we move on to the next game, which was Watford home win. Someone I've been two players I've been critical of. One's Tanganga, and I said he wouldn't get in Bromley's side. But it just shows you again, the manager has just galvanised them all, and just he's just getting the best out of them all. Just like it's like a lot of them have found out that Neil Harris is, they never knew who their dad was. They just found out Neil Harris was their actual dad. They just it's like they fucking died for him. But Tanganga, alongside Cooper, is obviously at the minute we're in a back four, and that's the preferred centre back pairing. Sean Hutchinson did play 45 minutes for the 21s on Tuesday at the Den. I was there. He got through that unscathed. Tanganga is scoring some big goals or big moments for us. He scored against Southampton, and of course, he scored the winner on Saturday. He's improved, yes. How much has he improved? Because I will say, I still think him and Cooper look a little bit shaky. It could be harsh because they've had a few clean sheets now, but.
Well, do you know why though, Dan?
Go on.
Because he's with Cooper.
Yeah.
I think that Tanganga is class, and I think Cooper is a very bad defender. I never thought he was a bad defender, but I think that he used to be very, very good aerially, and now the bloke hardly ever wins any headers. Yeah. And if you've got a bloke, if he's got a player running at him, he absolutely terrifies the life out of me because he gets skinned every time. He's turning the Murray Wallace.
It's like baby giraffe running back.
He is. And without being rude, and I think Cooper's done fantastic for us this season. Not this season, over the seasons.
Like 7 years now.
Yeah, I don't think he's good enough now for this level. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised because Harris can't take Tanganga out at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if he's thinking about chucking Cooper out and putting Hutchinson back in. And I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah. I think if you looked in Tanganga's own words, which is true, he said, like, you remember, he wasn't playing no games. So he was probably trying to play catch up. So he ain't used to the pace of the Championship and what it was all about. And slowly, but surely he's getting the grips of it now. Yeah. He knows the pace bit. He's more fitter. He knows what he's got to do. Where I think the pace of the Championship, unlike the Premiership, is pass. There's a lot of chasing down in the Championship. And it's taken a while, but he's starting to get there at the right moment for us anyway, that he's sort of picked up the pace and you can see in his performances. And also getting back to the Cooper thing about not winning headers, I think that was a ploy in the other day with that goal where they was all marking Cooper and Tanganga come in. No one was on him, was they, really? And he got that free header.
No, he was clear. Yeah, he had a free header.
He was clear free header. I was watching Cooper.
We started doing this years ago, and Sean Hutchinson was doing the Tanganga role when we scored 1-0 up against Charlton early. And what they was all doing was they was all watching Cooper. What Cooper started to do was jump early. They'd all jump with Cooper. And as they'd all come down, Hutchinson would then go up and get the header in. But yeah, I mean, for me, Tanganga, he's not playing in the back five now. He's playing the back four. You're right with your saying, Pete, as well. We was all buzzing when him and Obafemi signed. But I think it was you, Joe, that said to me, we was all buzzing, but neither of them have played any games.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Let's have it right. The thing with,
like Pete said, will be one of the fucking hardest things to do with the pace of it and the physicality.
With Tanganga, he hadn't played football before he come to us in, I think, just over a year, maybe even longer. He had a bad injury at Tottenham, went on loan to Germany, didn't even play a game there.
No, he got injured straight away, and he said the manager was sacked.
Yeah. I think a lot does have to be said. Exactly what my dad just said. It's going to take him a while to sort of get up to pace with things, and maybe it's a mixture of that. He's starting to get it now, and or maybe the formation change. He might suit the back four better. I think before he was playing in sort of a free sort of centre backs. He had Wes Harding one side of him, didn't he? He had Harding in the bench, is he? I think Harris just has seen something and just doesn't fancy him.
I'll tell you what.
But
Go on, mate.
Do you see that interview with Harris earlier I read saying he's trying to say like, oh, every player has a role to play. I've been saying to them they're still going to be important players, blah, blah. He said about Wes Harding and that, but he's not even made the matchday squad the last few games or since Harris has been in charge. I don't know.
No, yes. Go on, Ken.
You know, one thing that people said about Tanganga, which it makes sense now. One thing people said about Tanganga when he signed was he fucking loves a tackle. Right, this bloke loves a tackle. I don't know whether you ever remember hearing that, but you know they used to say it a lot. And he ain't short of not having a row, but you know, getting proper stuck in. And I think that when he turned up and we were under Edwards, all of a sudden he probably realised that ain't going to be the way he's going to be playing. And then all of a sudden Harris has come in and gone, yeah, we have a tear up every game here. And he's gone, yeah, that's a bit of me. Do you know what I mean? And now all of a sudden he's shining even more.
It's a complete different style of play, isn't it? Exactly what Kenny said. This probably suits him.
Through the squad, you can't say one player hasn't improved fucking 50%. They just all look like they just. It's like Neil Harris just said, look, I'm really all your fathers, right? That's first off. And second of all, if we get promoted, I'll take us all, stay up. I'll take us all Vegas. I'll say, I'll give you all fucking 50 grand. Like, it looks like they will do anything to fucking win at the minute. And that's exactly what we want to see at the club. And that's why even though we're near the relegation zone, we've got this bounce back and we're seeing photos like this at the end of games. I mean, look at that. Bradshaw didn't even start that game. Bradshaw was selected as sub for Southampton away. He just seems to keep all the players happy. He just seems to have them all on board. And we just...
Don't you know half the players from before? Is there any still there that was under Harris before he left?
Well, this is the thing as well. Like I said, when Harris came back, a sensible thing for him to have done would have been to walk into the dressing room and got the Bradshaw, Saville, Bart. I mean, even Bart. Have you seen Bart on a touchline at full time, like jumping all over Harris? Like he ain't going to play for the club again. Like Murray Wallace, Ryan Leonard, Jake Cooper, Sean Hutchinson, Billy Mitchell. They're all Neil Harris players.
Yeah.
They've all lasted the test of time through Rowett, through Edwards. And I think he would have been wise to have grabbed them lot and gone, look, what are you up for a fucking dogfight? Because I think a few of the players I mentioned there, quite a few of them are out of contract as well at the end of the season. But they're just so invested in it. And as we know, no disrespect to the gaffer, his technical input is limited. I mean, how much can you say? So you must be on a promise, mustn't you? How much can you say to him to explain? Does he sit down and explain to him what this club means to him and what it means to the fans? I don't know.
Dan, there's a couple of managers out there, right? Over the years, one in the Premier League and one in the Championship, both modelled to them certain leagues. One was Sam Allardyce in the Premiership. I know the last couple of ones ain't been too good, but he's known for getting the best out of players and getting results. And how many teams did he save from relegation? And it's just a man. Maybe he's I don't know. His presence in the dressing room, and he instills in the players' belief, and he dragged them out these relegation battles. He's got the players giving the extra 50%. Championship version, Neil Warnock, same geezer, go in, turn a shower of crap into winners and battlers. And these managers do. It is down to the managers that get them players 50%.
You look at their managers' tactics though as well. They're old school. They go back to basics. When they know we're in a fight, they're like back to basics. They're not going to do all this playing it out the back.
No,
they're just going to do what they do best. Go back to the old school way. When you're in a dogfight, it sometimes works. There's no point playing how we was under Edwards when you're in a relegation scrap. Really.
Look at Huddersfield done. It was last season under Warnock. They come in and they put in a battling performance and they took the points. Didn't they?
That's done us twice, didn't they? It was one of the worst away days in fucking life up there. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be worth? Now we've seen, and Harris, I never thought he'd come back again. I'm still pinching myself. Do you think now it'd be worth? And it's nothing against. I'm not a member of the Alex Aldridge Hate Club, right? But do you think it would be worth, once Neil Harris has done this time round, to make him a director of football or something at the club and say, look, he understands. Because I think in hindsight, if Rowett would have left, Harris would have come in, and then Edwards would have come in after that and had Harris to lean on. I think that would have worked so much better. Do you think there's a role for him for life here at this club, Ken?
Yeah, I think that just going back on what you're saying then, I think that Harris is a type of character that if I knocked on his door and he turned around and went, Ken, I really need you to clean my toilet, I would clean it to an inch of its life because I wouldn't want to let him down and I'd want to impress him on how clean that toilet was. And I think that's the way the players are. They don't want to let him down. Going on to your question about like a director of football, if he's got that aura, it don't matter who's in charge of the football team, you're not going to want to let Neil Harris down. And I think that he could be massive for the club. And when there's a time of need, or if we was ever in this type of situation again, you need someone like Neil Harris to sit down and go, look, this is what you need to do to get this club back up and running, or this is how you need to invigorate the fans. This is how you need to invigorate these type of players. Go out and do it. Don't let me down. I just think Neil Harris is, in any way, shape or form, is massive for Millwall Football Club.
He said as well, he made a promise to John Berylson, and obviously when God rest his soul, he was alive, that if the club was ever in the shit and we needed him, he'd always come back. So instead of, keep getting him in and out and in and out, other clubs have directors of football. What do you think, Pete, on that? Would it be worth offering Neil Harris a role for life?
I'll just rewind a little bit, where going back to the Rowett situation, I just wish a Rowett would have done a sort of a Klopp sort of thing, like instead of giving up the ghost. I mean, you've got to remember that Rowett under Millwall, he was he had all summer, didn't he, to recruit. He had all summer, so he built his own team for the next journey, whatever, and then he packed it in October. What he should have done then, he should have gone, you know what, lads, I'm going to give it, this is going to be my last season, and I'm going to give it because I've started the season, I've started the summer, you had all that time, and then, you know what, I'm going to pack it up at the end of the season. And what he could have done was left it for someone to come in and watch the squad and how it progressed. And that's when probably a Joe Edwards would have probably done it best. But getting back to Harris, yes, but then again, I think someone like Neil in the background has got that Millwall-ness instilled in him, and a person like Joe Edwards wouldn't. And I feel like that he would probably be in the way. Where Neil Harris said, well, you've got to get the best, and you've got these two different mentalities of playing football.
What do you mean?
And the Neil Harris way, and I think they'll conflict in some sort of way.
Yeah, maybe the manager just couldn't do his job because he feels that Neil Harris is the shadow of the legend, and Neil Harris is sort of hanging over him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Joe?
Do you know what? Right? I love the idea that you put on the group, was it last week or the week before?
Yeah,
I thought, do you know what? That would be great if you had Kevin Muscat come in as manager, Harris as director of football. But I would love to see that.
I was lying though when I saw it.
I know. I got overexcited. I was like, "Yep, I'll take that." But
you showed me, and I thought, "Whoa, that's a good idea."
Yeah. Back to the question. I do think there is a role where Harris for life at the club, but the question is, would he want that? He's got quite a bit of managerial experience now, and would he want to go up in the background as director of football when he thinks he could get a job on the touchline? So
he said, I didn't factor that in. Well done, because he said, he's managed this season in League One. He didn't do too bad at Gillingham. League Two, I thought he'd done all right in League Two as well. But I mean, a lot of people and the neutrals would have been surprised when he got pulled back in. I said it was a masterstroke, and at the minute, looking like that could be the case. But yeah, he said he learned a lot even at his short time at Cambridge, and he's a different type of manager. Of course, he managed Cardiff as well, so he might want to kick on. I just can't see him, and I love him, but I can't see him succeeding at any other club to the level he does at our club.
Yeah. You see him at Cardiff, didn't you? It's not going to...
Because
Well, he got him in the playoffs, didn't he, Joe? He got him in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
He just doesn't have hold, and you shouldn't have to have it for your manager, but he just doesn't hold that amount of respect with a fan base like he does with ours. He walks on water a mill, and I think that plays into what's currently happening now with the team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, someone said to him in an interview I watched, and I said, "You've heard that you should never go back." He went, "I don't believe in that." He said, "Because if I never come back to Millwall, I would have never become the record goal scorer." Right?
yeah.
You know, which is true. So listen, I'll be honest. When they appointed Harris, I went, "What the F are they doing?" I thought this is a major, major backward step, and we are going down. That was my point blank thing. Like, how wrong am I? And I'm pleased and over the moon to be wrong, and long may it continue. Do you know what I mean? Get this over the line, but he's galvanised the whole club, fans, players, all of us.
Do you know what I was going to say? I was looking just randomly at some old photos the other week, like Millwall photos, and I know I was proper against the Harris thing at the start. Don't get me wrong; it was more the facts, the longer term, like going to next season. But let's not talk about that. But I just come across this picture of he said about he made a promise to John Berylson, and I was looking through and I see this picture of the player, I think, when he was a player. And John Berylson standing there as they're going up on the little country to get the little trophy. And it's a picture of John Berylson with his arms out like that and Harris going in to hug him. And it was just saying, it really touched me inside. I thought, do you know what? I get that now. And it's maybe just meant to be. In our time of need, he's there. John Berylson's like reaching out to him. And I just thought, it's brilliant. Nearly brought a tear to my eye.
Mate, I've said this before about Neil Harris, mate. He's Roy the Rovers shit. You couldn't actually write it. Christian Bastinelli, thank you, mate, for your donation. Super chats are open. You can donate to the channel via the comments section. And I only met the man, the myth, the legend on Saturday, didn't I? Come all the way from Belgium with his mate. They both supported Millwall for over 40 years. And they come in on the Eurostar and went back on the Eurostar after the game. So well done, mate. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks for the donation. I can't stand the word wrong'un. Rowett. Absolute wrong'un, said James David Toll.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, Luke Smith, you said the same as me, apparently, about Neil Harris in a senior role. There we go. Harris is a line for life.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll tell you what. I know we ain't talking about. I know you said let's not talk about next season and stuff like that. But it does. It does sort of depend, doesn't it? If he keeps us up, do you give him? If, for instance, there's a budget there, and you give him a budget where he can go and buy like better players, do you give him the opportunity to have another season? But he has to change his style of play? Or do you get a different manager and get different players?
Well, he has said that he's learned a lot and he's learned different ways to win football matches. I said I wouldn't want to see him managers beyond this season because I wouldn't want to give him the budget. However, that could have been harsh for me because what I said earlier, when I said Bulkowski, Murray Wallace, Jake Cooper, Sean Hutchinson, Ryan Leonard, George Saville, Billy Mitchell, Tom Bradshaw. That's 8 players, right? This will look, and now this, what I'm saying, will seem like a dig at Rowett. Okay, Gary Rowett and Steve Lee said this the other week. Gary Rowett never really had a legacy of players that he left behind. If you look at the mainstay of our side now, they're all still Neil Harris players. All right, they're all not what they once was probably, and coming towards the end of their time at the club / careers. But that season where Harris left in the October, where he did a little bit of a row, didn't he? He had a budget. He signed some bad players. You know, Yuri Skalak, to name one, but he signed some good players.
Do you remember that guy, Greg Wilder?
Greg Wild, left winger from
left winger,
Scotland.
Who was that other one? David Worrell.
Dave Worrell. But Dave Worrell was like really good for fucking Southend, and but there was more to it than Dave Worrell. There was more to it. I bumped into Dave Wall on a night out, and I had a right chat with him, and I won't say what it was. It was nothing to do with him personally. It was to do with one of his children, and that's the reason they moved back up north. And that's the reason he couldn't crash. So I won't say what it was, but I felt quite sorry for him. But if you look, he signed some bad players. But if you look, he signed all those players I've just named. He signed Jason Malumbi. He signed Matt Smith. I think he signed more good players than bad, Harris. I mean, he signed Yuri Skalak, yes.
Cooper? Did he sign Cooper?
Yeah.
He signed Cooper, Hutchinson.
Saville, Jed.
Tom Elliott.
that won't go on the naughty list, Tom Elliott. So I think
there was a player that when he came to Millwall, when he first came, first 2 games, we thought he's brilliant, wasn't he? I think he had a song about him, didn't we?
Big T. I think
Elliott. That's
No,
all kind of slow, isn't it?
Again, like, Tom Elliott wasn't any good, but he was effective in the right way, wasn't he? Throw him on, 15 minutes to go, fucking 2-1 down or 1-0 down. And he
That's why you always, I was gutted when we lost Matt Smith because you always need a plan B, and I would have kept him. Just as that super sub, like the last 10 minutes you're losing 1-0.
He scored 20 odd goals this season for Southampton.
Yeah, knock that ball down in the box, one in the box, knock it down for your strikers. And how many times did he do that? I love Matt Smith. He's brilliant.
He don't have that plan B.
No. He signed another player that I thought was quite good called Jason McCarthy. Do you remember him? He was
from Wickham.
I quite liked him.
He had 1 season and then he went back to them.
He went back to Wickham, didn't he? He couldn't get in front. Yeah. Mate, Marlon Romeo used to bat him away for fun, didn't he? He batted away fucking Conor McLaughlin. He batted away Jason McCarthy.
Yeah.
Sean Cummins. None of them could get in front of Marlon Romeo.
No.
I don't know. You know what he's doing now?
He's still at Cardiff, isn't he?
I don't know.
Who, Marlon?
What's all salad about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Kieran's new favourite. That's his new favourite saying. Word salad.
Kyr's O'Mara. Where's that?
That can't be Kieran because it hasn't got mate in front of it.
Mate, it's just word salad. What's that about? Can you like
that's Joe, you tell him. Go on.
Oh, he listened to another podcast, Acton Millwall, and there's Neil Fissler on there. And he said something about word salad for these, like he was saying something about chief operations officer or something, and he said it's all just word salads, like he made up that. And Kieran's stuck on the phrase ever since.
It just gets thrown in, like a little bit of side salad just gets put in.
Yeah. If he thinks someone's talking waffle, he just goes, that's just word salad.
He's there. Oh dear. Right. So 2 games in, 2 wins. We haven't done the second game yet. We were the second game, Watford.
Yeah.
We've had 2 home games. We won both games 1-0. 2 clean sheets. And
I'm going to get right. Our only chances on goal, pretty much.
Yeah.
No, but it's like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You'd rather that, wouldn't you? Everybody's chances are not great. But I'm going to have to give a shout out to this guy as well. Because I've buried him as well. But I'm starting to grow in confidence with him now. He is, to quote Roy Keane, doing his job. That's his job, save the fucking ball. But he made a really good save at Southampton. And he's coming for crosses now and he's not dropping them.
Come over,
Ken, go on. I'll let you go first on Sarkic because I know you always quite liked him.
Yeah, I actually really liked him, and I think at the beginning I just turned around and said, "Look, he's the best goalkeeper that we've got, so we've got to go with him." But I could see saying in him quite early doors that he's another player that would just get better and better and better. And I think again we seem to forget that he is also another player that didn't play any games.
Yeah, that's true.
And it takes time, and especially coming to a team like Millwall, right? It takes a bit of time to get used to the noise, the abuse that you're going to receive, and all them things. And I think he's just grown into become. I honestly think that Sarkic potentially, if he doesn't get any injuries, he could be our goalkeeper for the next 5 years.
Well, we fucking need him to be. Paid over £1 million for him. He's only 26. That's fine.
Yeah. And look, Connor Truman, he's just another, what's he called? Who's the geezer that was there, never played a game?
Ryan Sanford, I said that.
He's just another Ryan Sanford. Like, what? I don't even know what he's doing. Just let Bart stay there. Let Bart stay there. Richard Wright. Do you know what I mean? Richard Wright, Man City.
Oh, Scott Carson as well, Man City.
Scott Carson winning trophies and medals for doing nothing.
That's a good comment from Steve Lee. He said the difference between Rowett and Harris. Rowett always said he was scared of opponents like Rotherham. Harris said on Saturday he was never scared of going to the Leeds and he's not going to start now. And that's what I said when I heard that he might be coming back. I didn't believe that, but when and it was true. But when he said, "Oh, he didn't want his first game to be Southampton," I didn't believe that at all. And he's actually, when he got the job, he said he wanted his first fucking game to be Southampton. Do you know what I mean? Just takes the fear factor out of it completely, doesn't it? With Harris, he doesn't.
It's as if he thrives on that, doesn't he?
He's always done the business against Leeds as a player, as a manager. I'm not saying we're going to win Sunday. I fucking hope we get something because I'm going up. But the Watford game again. We wasn't fantastic, was we? But we was. I'd rather us not be fantastic over 90 minutes and keep battling to the end than be brilliant for 15 and then completely capitulate. Like we were saying earlier, like the catastrophes at the back that were happening under Edwards was.
Yeah.
Was that overplaying?
Let me say something, right? Do you know what the ultimate difference is, right? Is that Harris has stepped in and I thought it was fantastic. He had an interview, right? Yesterday, I think it was a few days ago, and I went, so where's Harden? What's happened with him? Is it an injury? He goes, no, purely selection. Unfortunately, I don't think he's not on my 18. And I thought that is brilliant because he is probably one of the worst centre-halves I've ever seen try to play at the back. He was playing with a 5 at the back, right? And, the last 2 seasons, we've had the centre-halves like the likes of Charlie Cresswell, Daniel Ballard, fantastic young centre-halves. And we have replaced them with a free transfer from a geezer who wasn't good enough for Rotherham. So what makes you think he's going to be good enough for us? He played every team in Rotherham, played every game for a team in Rotherham that nearly went down last season, went on a long winless run, and somehow, he's miraculously getting into our team. A-star for effort, but F- for absolute ability and as soon as we've taken him out, look what's happening. We've assured at the back, we look a lot more confident because the players don't have belief when you've got people like him behind you.
I think the 4 at the back's helped as well.
Well, that goes. I think that relates to the whole Sarkic thing, right? With maybe Sarkic before, he looked very shaky because maybe he didn't trust the defence. He didn't have that confidence. But now we've gone to that 4.
Solid.
The defence has looked a lot more solid, and all of a sudden Sarkic looks a lot more confident.
Yeah, great. So
I think he's coming, even just coming out for crosses, he's more confident to commit himself to do things.
Yeah, great.
Do you know what? I agree with Kieran to a point there about Harding. But what I will say is that it's not the first time that we've gone and got players that other teams don't want.
Ryan Longman.
When you look at Ryan Longman, Ryan Longman's coming to. He's a completely different player under Harris, and all of a sudden you understand why he's starting games. Honeyman is another one. I don't know who else. I'm thinking too much now, but I get it, and I understand about ability. It's a slight problem, really, for us to talk about it like that, though, because it was only probably 8 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago that we were going, Wes Harding's the best thing in the world because he scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
He's done right. I mean,
no different to what we're doing right now about Tanganga.
Look at the whole. I mean, you say about my mate said it to me. He was like, Honeyman's good, is he? Why don't Hull fucking want him? Longman's good. Why don't fucking Hull want him? Well, Hull got a billionaire owner and they're fucking in the top 6 at the minute. And we're in the bottom 6 pretty much. You know what I mean? So you got to think about what level we're at to where they are in a minute. But yeah, look, Harding, it needed some sort of freshener. I think Harding done a right. I think a couple of games towards the end, he looked like his confidence was gone. And we've seen that a lot with players. And I've said it to you boys. I'll say it, or one of you say it, or someone watching the show go, about any player. He's fucking shit. they're not shit. They're like Casper De Nor. He's not shit. They're professional footballers, but confidence goes a long way, doesn't it, in football? I'd say it's fucking 50% of a player's game. If they've got no confidence, it can help them to be taking out points as well. I mean, one player I will say that I'll get onto is I don't know. Well, he must have no confidence. Is Duncan Watmore.
Yeah, he's lost his way, hasn't he? He
was absolutely horrendous.
he picks up the ball, and I was watching the Birmingham game, and he was just running with his head down from the middle of the park. He wasn't even looking up to see who was around him.
No, he's been doing that all season, though. He's
I know,
with his head down, gets to the byline, and then it's sort of a hit and hope.
Yeah, but he was doing that. Yeah, but now he's doing it from the middle of the park. He's running with his head down, right, and not even looking up. You know, don't get me wrong. He's dangerous when he gets near the penalty area. And he makes one of them jiggly run, and he takes his luck by crossing it and hopes someone's going to beat it. You don't actually pass it when he runs. It's like give and hope. You know what I mean? But
the problem is, Pete, is I think people like Watmore. He's a winger. He's an out and out winger, and his job. You know, if you want to talk old school, his job is to drive down that line and cross the ball. And I remember when he played for Middlesbrough, and he come on as a sub against us, right? And he was electrifying because that's all he did. That's all his job was: drive down the line, get balls into the box. And and to me, if you played a 4-4-2 and you had someone like Watmore who played just as a winger, you'd probably get more out of him. But when you're telling him to play, you know, as a 10, for instance, that's all he's still going to do is drive through with his head down, which obviously ain't no good. What are you doing?
Duncan, what are you doing?
Oh, that's brilliant.
So look, we are going to Leeds on Sunday off the back of 3 wins and a draw. 2 wins at home, 2 goals scored, none conceded. We've had 4 points away from home, 1 win, 1 draw, 3 scored and 2 conceded. So we are back to what we would expect of Millwall, and that's a good fucking number of points on the board at home. But we are getting them away as well now. But Sunday is going to be a very, very difficult fixture. What do we think he will do in terms of lineup? We're talking about now 4 at the back, wingers. What do we think he's going to do on Sunday, team sheet wise and formation wise?
I don't think he'll change it, Dan, at all.
No, it's exactly what he's been doing.
Yeah, I don't think he'll change it at all. I think he'll turn around and go, look, you know, last 4 games have been immense. This is probably going to be the hardest game that we're going to play for the rest of the season. I need you to just go out and do your best. Because let's be honest, us as Millwall fans, I think we'd be elated if we got a draw from Leeds.
Oh, I'd be over the moon.
Yeah.
My boys have been. I'm going because I love. I'll get hate for this. I love going to Leeds ground. It's fucking unbelievable atmosphere. Right, my boys not missed many games in this division now. Like grounds he hasn't ticked off. And he said to me earlier, "What do you think?" I said, "Look, if we can go there and score, and it be a great performance. I mean, to lose 2-3-1." You know, just accept it. It's going to be a good day out. It'll be a good ground for you to tick off. It'll be an unbelievable atmosphere. It's killed it for us, obviously, atmosphere-wise, because it's on a Sunday now, and it would have been on a Saturday, and we would have took probably 3 times as many people. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. But
I'll tell you what, I reckon Leeds are probably more worried about playing us right now than what we are playing them.
Well, we got nothing to lose, have we? That's what.
The thing is, they got Ipswich on their tails as well, so they
could be nervous.
They will be, and if they ain't put us to bed by half time, it could get a bit twitchy for them second half. And
you look at recent results out there as well. The 3-2 we lost, we was 2-0 up. The 4-3 we won.
We keep losing the position from losing positions, don't we? Really.
I think. Do you think it's going to be so on Sunday? It'll be Sarkic in goal, Joe Bryan left back, who I thought was fucking brilliant on Saturday. By the way, Joe Bryan.
Mention him,
Tanger and Cooper and Leonard, Saville and Mitchell, Fleming in a 10, Honeyman wide one side, and I think it'll be Longman the other.
Oh,
Well, it's what he does away from home. And then away from home, he plays Longman. At home, he plays Watmore. and then up front, we ain't discussed him yet. Kubala says he's going to put him in his pocket or something there. Look, like over Femi. I saw people saying that he done really well on Saturday because he's, again, being asked to play a role that he doesn't usually do. What do you boys think about that? And how do you think he's been faring so far?
right. I'll start down on this one. Right.
Mate.
This guy, right? This guy, exactly like Tangara, right? Okay, is not up to speed. All right, he's not up to speed because he ain't had enough games. He ain't played enough games, right? But let me tell you, he will only get better, right? He will only get better, and I reckon, right, maybe right this game, but he'll get another game under his belt Sunday.
He needs to fucking hurry up because the season's nearly over.
Well, listen, we've got 8 games after. Well, we've got 9 games to go. You've got to go. If we say it cut the last 7 games, in the last 7 games, that's where we'll probably be getting up to speed, and we'll see the best of him because we ain't by far seen the best of this guy yet. We're not even played to his strengths, which we ain't got the capability to do it. But he's running. You give him a chance now. When he's up to speed, he'll bury it, mate. He'll bury it. And like I say, just like Tanganga, he needs to get games under his belt, build up that confidence and that speed to the championship. Do you know what I mean? He ain't played this last year, has he? So yeah, I've got a lot of hope in him.
Okay.
Do you know what I think he done brilliantly Saturday is he held the ball up well. He put himself about. He threw in a few challenges himself.
Yeah, I thought he put himself about, but I don't think he held the ball up well.
Do you know? I thought he did.
He tried.
He's one of them. A bit like I think his change. Well, didn't have many games under Edwards, but even when his first touch, if it's a poor first touch, if he loses, he still battles. He goes straight back to get it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You see, like his goal against Blackburn. Like fair enough, his first touch weren't great, but he kept chasing. He kept going, and then he got that luck where it fell for him. And he got the goal. But one thing I have to say about him is I can see it perfectly, right? Which is not playing to his strengths. He's got a bit of pace. At the minute, he seems to be playing with his back to goal. Probably the style of play we've got going on at the minute. But he's one of those strikers that plays off the shoulder of the defender, yeah? All it's going to take is playing a pass straight through the middle of the defence between the centre backs, and he's running on the end of that. But we're not sort of trying to do that. It's all it's going to take, that little pass through the centre, defence splitting pass, and he's there on the end of it.
We're definitely not playing to his strengths. He's definitely having to do stuff that he wouldn't used to be doing, and he is trying really hard. Jakey says, "Is Amaku fit?" No, Amaku is now injured again, and he did this at Blackburn, Harris, didn't he? He started Amaku. Who I didn't think looked fit at all. And then he brought on Obafemi. I mean, he's been bringing him off at half-time, bringing him on at half-time. So like Pete said, I think he needs more games. I think he's... I'm not judging what I'm looking at because he's sharp with his turn of pace and he's quick, but he must be a long way off fitness. But we've got no other option now. Amaku's now injured again. Bradshaw's not going to be back, unlikely, before the end of the season. I reckon Kevin Nisbet's already fucking gone back to Scotland. I don't know what's happened to him. But we have got one option. People saying about youth team players, Henry Hearn, I don't know where Tom Leahy is, but he's not. Harris isn't going to play these players. But for argument's sake, Henry Hearn scored 2 in the 7-0 win on Tuesday and then done his hamstring in the second half. So we have no fit strikers at the club other than Obafemi. What do you think of Obafemi so far, Ken?
I call him Obafatty, don't I?
It's pure muscle.
He is high, but he's fucking quick.
I think that he's another De Nor in ways of. I think that by far he's the best striker in our team, but I don't think normally he would fit into a Neil Harris side.
Well, someone just said unless they bought him in the summer, went 4-4-2, and played the big striker next to him.
Yeah, I think that if we still had Matt Smith at the club, Matt Smith would start over Obafemi on Sunday. And I think maybe in most games, because, you know, Harris likes to get it to a big man up top and put crosses into the box. And this is
he wasn't a Neil Harris signing, was he? But Harris has now got to make do what he's got.
Yeah, and this is the problem from what Joe and Pete said about not playing to his strengths. Like in a Neil Harris side, I don't think you'll probably ever play to Obafemi's strengths.
Yeah.
But I do agree that he's a great striker. And there may be an opportunity for him to keep getting better. And if he's hungry enough, you know, he's 10 times better than Tom Bradshaw as a striker.
I think with Bradshaw, right, I think it's a little bit like Neil Harris. I think down the years, Bradshaw has learned how to play that role. I don't think many people can do it better than for us, for Millwall. I'm not saying if you started them both for Burnley next week, Bradshaw would score more goals. Bradshaw's learned how to do that role for us so fucking well.
Yeah, great.
But look, it is going to be him.
Yeah.
He scored one
Interesting point. I'd just like to pick out Luke Swift's comment, because that's spot on. But it's a tricky situation, isn't it? We're saying like De Nor doesn't really fit Harris's style of play. I'm not sure. We're not playing to Obafemi's strengths. But what Luke Swift said there is exactly it. I think if you had De Nor in the team, he's that sort of player that would play that perfect. We've seen him do it before. That would play that sort of pass over for Obafemi to run on. But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see it.
Sorry, what did you just say then, Joe? I don't know whether I was thinking it or you just said it. Like Casper De Nor would be the type of player that would make the pass for Obafemi. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah,
I agree.
But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see that.
No.
Saying about Curtis Galloway saying about what about Adam Mayer?
Yeah, what's that?
Well, Adam Mayer comes to the club. He was brought in by Joe Edwards. He got thrown in when, like most do, when you're 2-3-0 down. Oh yeah, mate, go and fucking save the game. He had a good turn of pace. He's naturally left-footed, which is something we don't really have in that area where he would be in this sort of 4-5-1 setup. Will be where Watmore's playing or Longman's playing. But he got a slight injury, and he came back. He played about 80 minutes for the 21s the other day. It was 5-0 up at half time, but ironically, a lot of the stuff was going down the other side in the first half, and he was getting a little bit frustrated. But he played well in the second half. Was getting very confident, pacey, running at people, getting his deliveries into the box and good deliveries. Takes a nice set piece. But I just don't know if I just think like we say. Look, I think put it this way. I think if Vogelsammer was still at the club. I know Harris didn't sign him, but I think he would play him with Honeyman. Yeah, because he wants that more experienced graft. That at the minute, Harris on Sunday against Leeds, Harris isn't looking for people to go down the wings, take on players and cross. He's looking for the wingers to fucking tuck in, defend, and help the fucking midfield out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think our big thing on Sunday will be just keeping it clean for the first half hour. Do you know what I mean? Because I think we go 1-0 down early, I think it's game over.
Yeah,
it's gonna be very difficult. But we always do well against Leeds, home and away. And again, Neil Harris, especially, I think he'll go out Sunday and just say, "Look, enjoy yourselves. You know, we got nothing to lose. We're going to have to lose at some point."
You know what's important, Dan, though, don't you? The goal difference is very important at this stage of the season as well.
Yeah, well, let's look at it because I've got it here. Where is it? Here's the current league table. I did a video yesterday where I did the games for this weekend, the predictions. Rotherham, you can sort of see them at the bottom, but forget them, they're fucking gone. Right? We are 5 points clear of the relegation zone in Huddersfield, yeah, but we're also minus 12 goal difference, and Huddersfield are minus 19. We've got to play Huddersfield away as well, don't forget. They got a new manager. They've had a little upturning for them. They did get battered on Sunday against West Brom. They was 1-0 up. But there's the current league table with 9 to go. I mean, look, we ain't a million miles away from fucking hitting the top 10, ridiculously. It's such a tight division, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Birmingham...
We're only 4 points behind Sunderland.
I know. Well, that league table now, by the way, is older as well because that didn't take into consideration last night's game where Birmingham lost 1-0 at home to Middlesbrough.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Birmingham lost 1-0 at home to Middlesbrough last night. Yeah, Middlesbrough 11th or were 11th.
So Birmingham played 37 as well.
Yeah.
Birmingham have now played 37, yeah. And look,
Wow.
we've had 10 points out of our last 12. We've got to be up there with the form sides in the division.
Yeah.
We've still got to go to Swansea away, Plymouth at home, Huddersfield away, Rotherham away, Sunderland away, and we've got Cardiff at home as well, and West Brom at home as well. That's going to be a difficult one. But
normally you'd say there, Dan, wouldn't you? 7 points to keep you safe, give you 50 points. Wouldn't you really?
That's what I looked at that a few weeks ago, and that's what you're looking at. You're looking at the 50 points. Now, these are this weekend's fixtures, yeah? Let's look at this weekend's fixtures. And I'll put my predictions for this week. Oh, that's not that one. I put the wrong one up. Well, that's this weekend's fixtures.
Right.
Swansea versus Cardiff. We could do with Cardiff getting something there, and they probably will. It's a derby. Birmingham, Watford. Ipswich should be beating Sheffield Wednesday. They need to bounce back after losing Leeds. Borough, Blackburn. Plymouth, Preston.
Middlesbrough was on fire.
Yeah, they're starting to pick up a bit. Rotherham, Huddersfield's another derby. But Sunderland to beat QPR, be Andy first, and West Brom, Bristol City doesn't really matter. But we've got 9 games left.
Plymouth, Preston, Dan.
Who?
Plymouth, Preston.
What about them?
Well, Plymouth's in the relegation as well, aren't they?
Yeah, Plymouth are down there. Preston are doing all right. But here's our remaining fixtures. Our next 2 are not fucking easy, are they? But we've got an international break after Leeds. But I think I'm gonna go. I'll go first, right? We'll all go. Leeds. Sorry, I think we'll lose. West Brom, I think we'll get a point. Rotherham, I think we'll get 3. So that's 4. Huddersfield, I think we'll get a point. That's 5. Leicester, I can't see us getting anything out of that one. Cardiff, I think we'll beat. That's 8 points. Sunderland will be difficult. I'll say no points. Plymouth will beat. That's 11 points. I still think there's 12 points there for us. Ken, what do you think?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that completely differently to you, Dan, you know, because I think we're shit house a win at Leeds.
Fucking hope so.
I reckon we'll get a draw against West Brom, and then I reckon we'll go and lose to Rotherham.
Rotherham could be down by that point. I mean, they're going to go anyway, but I think that, you know, mathematically they could be relegated by that game.
Yeah, I just think it's so Millwall to go and beat top of the league and then lose to bottom of the league.
Oh, yeah.
True.
You know, and I also think we'll beat Leicester at home as well.
The only reason I said I don't think we will is because it's midweek.
Yeah. I don't think we'll get anything out of Sunderland away or Swansea away. But I think Plymouth is winnable. I think the Cardiff game's winnable. I think the Leicester game's winnable. And I think the Leeds game and possibly even the West Brom game's winnable. I think we'll do very well in our big games and not do so well against Rotherham, Huddersfield, Sunderland or Plymouth. No, Sunderland or Swansea, sorry.
Sorry, what did I say we was on now? What did we say we was on peak 43? We're saying 50 points. I'm saying we're going to get 10, which will see us safe.
What am I
10,
saying?
you're saying more than that, so we'd definitely be safe.
Yeah, so 3, 6,
What are you saying about them fixtures?
9, 12. Yeah, I reckon we get 15 points out of that.
Oh, fucking hope you're right. Out of how many? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20, out of 27. Yeah, maybe I've done us this justice. I think ours is like 10 out of 27. 10's still enough. 10's still enough. Pete, what do you think? Well, what we got left?
I personally think we need 52. But then I don't know, if you look at the fixtures other teams have got, like QPR, I think might be playing Huddersfield, and a lot of the teams are playing each other. So they're going to nullify the games, aren't they? Ain't like
52. In your opinion, winning three wins basically.
Yeah, I'm going to go for. I'll target, like I said, a point against West Brom. 3 Rotherham, 4 point Huddersfield, 5. Nothing Leicester City. Draw Cardiff, which is normal, which is 6. And maybe beat Plymouth 9 points. Lose away.
Anything Sunday, no.
But then
we don't do too bad at Swansea historically. I'm thinking of the Jeb Wallace free kick.
You don't want to be going there needing to stay up though, Dan, do you?
Yeah, man, imagine that. Fuck that.
Hey, you do not want that to go stay. I'd
We
love
want
to
to try
go
and be
there.
safe by the. We beat Cardiff at home. We're safe. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
I think so, mate. If we can get them, you know, obviously a lot depends. Like Sheffield Wednesday were flying; they're playing really well at the moment. Yeah, and then you've got to look at the other teams now dropping like a stone. Like look at Birmingham now; they must be 0 in confidence. I don't know where they must be looking at themselves and thinking, "Where's our next win coming from?"
That's the thing. Maybe at the minute we're looking at it thinking we're the full side of the division here. 10 points out of 12.
Yeah.
Confidence will play into it.
Well, let me tell you this now. Let's make a note of bones about it. If we win at Leeds, right? If we win at Leeds, we are 100% staying up. Make no bones about that. Because if you go to Leeds and win, right, we're on 46 points, and the confidence will be so high in that camp, no one would want to play us.
Our game against West Brom, of course, is Good Friday. And Rotherham is Bank Holiday Monday. Imagine we beat Leeds, beat West Brom, I mean, we'd take to fucking Rotherham on Bank Holiday Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm up for that, Rotherham.
I'll be up for it.
I just don't want to go Huddersfield ever again in my life. That's all it is. Ken, you're with me on that. You know what? Me and Ken went and had an absolute stinker. And then the year after, we didn't go. And you boys went, Pete and Joe, didn't you?
Yeah, we had a stinker last season.
Yeah,
lost 1-0.
Yeah.
We didn't have a shot that day we went.
And it was freezing cold.
Oh, it's a fucking
We were shocked. I can barely remember that game, Joe. Don't come to memory at all. I know
When we stayed in Manchester that night. Yeah.
Go on, Joe. What do you think then about what we got left?
Right. I'm going to go to grab a draw at Leeds.
Cool.
Draw at home to West Brom, 2 points. Beat Brom, that'll be 5. Yeah, I don't think Huddersfield's much of a happy hunting ground. I think we'll lose there. I think we'll lose against Leicester. Still want 5. Beat Cardiff, that brings us 8. I think we'll lose to Sunderland. I think we'll beat Plymouth at home, which brings us to 11. And I think we'll get a draw at Swansea, 12 points.
Yeah. I mean, it looks, especially with our current form and confidence, like Pete just said, you've got some big teams. You've got some big teams in there. You've got Leeds, West Brom, Leicester, and you could argue Sunderland is a difficult place to go. But it's the other ones that are all very winnable for me.
Yeah,
Cardiff at home.
Yeah.
Plymouth at home.
Yeah.
Rotherham away. But like Luke Smith just said, he said, sorry, Pete, but I think international break could disrupt us. It does look like it could come at the worst. Always does for us. Never comes at a good time, does it?
Yeah. We got there's 3 teams there. They've got nothing to play for by the time we play them. That'd be Rotherham, Sunderland, and Cardiff, I'd imagine. But then they're the team. Look at their running last season. We won 1 out of 10, was it? Or 1 out of 9 last season.
What we never got under Joe Edwards was I know he won his first game. And then it was right until over Christmas where we won 3 in a row. QPR at home, Norwich at home, Bristol City away. But we never really got that new manager bounce, did we? You know, when a new manager comes in and they have a decent little run, which is now what we're having under Harris. And I praise the club for that, for doing what they did at the time they did, because, like I said, that day I was in streaming. I went in the box at half time, and there's someone that works at the club that comes in our box, and they said to the boys in the box before I got in, I'm hearing that they can't afford to sack Edwards. And at that point, I thought, if they employed him, because if we do go down, they'll let him rebuild with the way he wants to play with youngsters, and maybe they're not fussed about going down. Obviously, that was put to bed when within a fucking week he was gone. They did pay him off, and they paid Cambridge compensation for Harris as well. Do you know what I mean?
You think at the point though when Rowett actually went and we put Edwards in, we weren't really in a position to worry about going down at that time, were we?
No, I don't know, but I just think that Gary Rowett, for all his faults, in my opinion, I don't think one thing he isn't, he's stupid. I think he saw that, like Kenny said before, where he's wrapped up that shit for as long as he could and fucking put a couple of plasters on it, a bit of WD-40 and fucking, a bit of fucking no nails, and kept it as good as it could. I think Rowett thought this is going to explode very, very quickly. Yeah. And I need to get out of here now because I don't want to nail my fucking CV. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my.
I don't mean it like as in backing Rowett. It's the meaning where if you said like the club thought we'll bring Edwards in just in case we go down and rebuild in League One. Just sort of alluded to that.
Sheffield Wednesday have still got West Brom, Middlesbrough, Swansea, Stoke, QPR. So they've got to play QPR. Wow. That's good. And Stoke.
That's what I'm saying. That nullify. Sheffield Wednesday's got Middlesbrough flying. Swansea.
They've got a tough run in there.
Stoke. Every one of them teams got something to play for. Sheffield Wednesday got West Brom playoffs, Middlesbrough playoffs, Swansea relegation, Stoke relegation, QPR relegation, Norwich playoffs, and it's promotion. Like that. If you look at their fixtures, right, how many points you reckon they'll get? I'm saying.
What's that?
One. I reckon they're lucky if they got 4 or 5 points out of that. 6 points.
That's the thing at the minute. We're winning and we're doing really well, but the teams behind us are all winning.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mate, looking at their fixtures here, I can't see them beating West Brom, Borough, mate. Norwich and Ipswich.
We never know.
That's the thing in this division. Anyone can beat anyone, can't they?
Beating Leicester. Biggest shock of the season, that.
I mean, I remember Tony Warner said to me once that Mark McGee looked at it in blocks and he would say, right, those 5 games, if we get 9 points from those 5, and if they lose on a Saturday, he'd go, doesn't matter. We've got 5 games to get 9 points, so we have to win the next one. And he said it really was sort of mentally, as basic as it sounds, spurred the players on. So I would say them next 3 games, if you say, look, we got to get 4 points from those next 3 games.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's what we have to get from those next 3. Leeds, West Brom, Rotherham. We have to get 4 from those 3.
I'd say.
So if we lose to Leeds, all right, we haven't lost yet. They're second in the table, pushing for promotion. More than likely we'll get it. So then we have to get a point against fucking, well, if we go and beat West Brom, then we got to get a point at Rotherham. The 3 after that, I think you could probably say the same. Right. It's doing that. Blocks of 3. 4 points, all right, at the next 3. Huddersfield, bit of a bogey team. Lose that one. Not a problem. We beat Cardiff. We draw with Leicester.
4 points there.
That's 4 points there. Sunderland, for me, is a no-go. We never do well there, so we'll probably lose there.
4 points again.
Beat Plymouth, and then we have to fucking get a point against Swansea. That's 12 points.
Yeah.
It's a good way. It's a very basic, but probably a good way of looking at it, isn't it? And if you get those 12 points, that's going to see us on 55.
Well, so I'm just looking at it. So Sheffield Wednesday got 38, right? So to get 50, they need 4 wins out of the next 9 games, don't they?
Yeah.
To even get to 50.
Well, if we get 55, Huddersfield have got to get 17 more points. See, the way I always look at it personally is I'm not even looking at Burnham and QPR. I'm looking at that bottom 3 and nothing else there. And we've got a 7+ goal difference better than fucking Huddersfield.
Yeah, but that could quickly turn around, Dan. Look at last season. I think, do you remember Luton when they had like a massive goal swing on us or something? And then they all of a sudden they lost 7-0. Where did they lose 7-0 to? Do you remember last season? Is it Luton lost 7-0?
Yeah.
That was the season before, wasn't it?
This is unbelievable.
It was a 10-goal swing in one game.
Let's look at them fixtures again. for this weekend. I mean, Rotherham could do us a massive favour, couldn't they? Sunderland could do us a favour. And Ipswich. I'm looking at them. The teams in the bottom three are Huddersfield, and they're away to Rotherham in a derby. I don't think that will be a win for Huddersfield. Ipswich, I'm predicting will beat Sheffield Wednesday. And who's the other team in the bottom three? Well, Rotherham, they're gone. So you could do Rotherham beating them, couldn't you? They're down. Only 2 teams are up for grabs.
I think if you look at it, like regardless of what we get out of Sunday, I think if Rotherham beat Huddersfield, you could probably say we're safe. We'd get enough points out of our games for Huddersfield not to catch us if Rotherham beat Huddersfield.
Yeah, because at the minute we're sort of basing it on everyone below us keeps winning, but I mean QPR have stopped winning now, haven't they?
Yeah,
but they're playing well, to be fair, and think you're playing well. Huddersfield, they're both playing well, aren't they?
Yeah, but we're not playing
Sheffield
well.
Wednesday as well.
They're all playing well. They're all picked up. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday should have been dead and buried months ago.
Yeah, they were a little while back. You'd say they're completely gone, wouldn't you?
That was on par with Rotherham, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're just all picked up.
There you go. Right, well, that's 90 minutes plus 2, that is. I enjoyed that. We'll do it again next week, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, mate.
For that.
Bloody hell, hour and a half.
I know. Time flies when you're trying to avoid relegation, doesn't it?
Always goes so quick.
This time last season, we was talking about dreaming of the playoffs. 9 games to go, weren't we? I think we was in the playoffs, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we was.
I don't want to talk about it, mate. I don't want to talk about it.
I've offered, so our sponsors, now we have the 6 sponsors. So this time last year, I said to them, I'll do it when the club released their frozen season ticket prices. So I said to them all last year, if anyone wants to renew, and we've got people returning for the 4th, the 5th season, if anyone wants to renew, I'll freeze the prices now. So if we do go up, obviously the prices go through the roof. But if you want to pay a frozen price now, I'll keep it the same. And a lot of them have had frozen price, but I've never put it up for the people that have been with me for 4 or 5 years. So a lot of them jumped on it. I said the same thing last week, and 4 out of 6 went, yep, we'll have it straight away. And then one of them messaged me and went, Hank, that's the best bit of business I've ever seen someone do. He said, this time last year, when he was in the playoffs, might be going up. He said, you've done the same thing this time. He said, we might be going fucking down. and we all jumped all over it. I said, I'm just nice to the Eskimos, mate. Don't worry about that. But I'm confident we ain't going down. Boys, final word. Are we confident staying up?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm cautious. I'm it's that game at Norwich that time ago. Me and you were standing there. I think it was 2-1 up, like with 3 minutes to go. We lost 3-2. They got 2 minutes in goals in injury time.
Tom Elliott scored that day.
I'm always.
We're going to win this, and you went, well,
I said, calm down.
Calm yourself down.
And then they banged, didn't they? 2-0 and then 3-2 in the last minute again. So cautious. I don't know. My heart says yes, but my brain says be cautious, Pete.
Well, I think
the thing I look at, if Huddersfield win Saturday, they win 2 points of us. And if they stay that way until we play them, they could go above us if they beat us at their ground. So I'm looking at them sort of permutations.
I think one thing we can all be sure of, being Millwall fans for as long as we've all been Millwall fans, is we won't make it easy for ourselves, will we?
No, we would lose at Rotherham. You know what? I remember that done.
We won't beat Leeds, beat West Brom, beat fucking Rotherham, and we're safe. It will fucking go to the wire.
Do you remember Graham Bolton years ago, Dan? Was on the train. You went, what do you reckon the result? And I went, well, Bolton ain't won for about 20 home games. I went, this will be the game that they will break their hoodoo. And they did. They beat us.
It's fucking another awful way day, isn't it?
I agree with what my dad said earlier as well, though. If we beat Leeds Sunday, we're staying up.
Yeah.
That is it.
End of. That will take to me. If Leeds can't beat us, no one will. Right? forget about them marching on together. We'll be on the march, yeah? And then
Well,
we'll be
listen, if
looking at the playoffs. We'll be going, we can take the playoffs.
Listen, if you are a YouTube member, if you're a member of our YouTube channel, that preview for Leeds will be out tomorrow. But if not, it'll be out on Friday because, of course, the game is on Sunday. Nothing to do. What are you going to do Saturday? What are we going to do Saturday? No me what?
That's what I'm thinking about. I'm going to be lost.
I've done it before, and you're not walking around blue with your missus or something, and you're like, how do people do this every fucking week?
You know, the problem is, Dan, and I think it was it was noted there the other day on Sky Sports as well, is with this EFL takeover thing, or Sky giving us the money, right, to invest in the EFL, and they pulled the plug on it. I think like West Ham and Palace were ones against it. But as you know, they said there's 20 games minimum going to be on Sky next year.
Next season.
So our Saturday games will be gone out the window, I'm telling you now. We'll be paying Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So someone said about Newcastle, they haven't played a game on a Saturday for 14 games. So when the TV get hold of our games, we will not be playing on a Saturday. Very rarely. It'll be a Friday night, Friday night, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. Very rarely will we have a Saturday game anymore.
I hate that. Shit.
I know, and it's going to ruin it because we all like our Saturday game, Saturday afternoon. So we're like, the Sky what they've done with the Leeds game. That was on a Saturday, and they've taken that and changed it. Fucked us all. Oh, sorry.
It's a 3 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. 3 o'clock kickoff. Sundays.
You rarely get that, do you?
I don't know why. It should be 12 o'clock.
Strange.
We leave at 7. At least you'll be back at a sensible time. I think we're leaving here about 9 Sunday morning. Going to get up there early, have a bit of lunch. But my mate and my boy and his boys will go to school the next day. My boys will go work the next day.
Well, how many tickets we sold?
I don't know. Wouldn't have thought many. No, I reckon we'll take 5, 6.
Yeah, it's pitiful, isn't it, really?
Yes. Well, they've done it on purpose, haven't they? So they can fucking not spend as much money on the police, haven't they?
I would have gone up there on a Saturday. Definitely, but Sunday, I've got work on Sunday.
The tickets are £45 an adult as well.
Are they?
It's ridiculous,
£45 an adult.
That's another thing to send people away.
Ridiculous. But it'll all be worth it, mate, when Michael Obafemi runs away with it in the 90th minute and notches. Yeah. It'll be worth it then. Yeah. All right, boys. Listen, thanks for watching, everyone. If you haven't already, subscribe to Lions TV.
Yeah. Are you thinking any one of you watching it in the pub? And is there a pub up your way down to be packed with Mill fans on that Sunday?
Up my way?
Yeah. Well, not up your way. I mean, like Bexley or Welling or anywhere.
St Patrick's will be in O'Neill's.
There's a real be.
Leytonstone, yeah.
Yeah, we probably
won't
will
be. Many over in fucking East London watching it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We'd be surprised, mate. There's quite a few of us over here. Joe's met a few of them as well.
I met a few up my way, Loughton, Debden.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Essex Lions, yeah.
Well, Terry Orlock lives Debden.
Yeah, that's
I
all
don't
right.
think he lives anymore. I don't think he moved out, I think.
Oh, is that where you live? What's that big construction company as you come off the motorway? Is it Kia?
Kia.
Yeah, that's
Kia.
it.
I'm right by there.
Yeah, oh, you're right there. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, boys. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please subscribe to Lions TV.
Come on, you Lions.
Come on, you Lions.